discipleship, we have learned that we are able to decide to follow Jesus because Jesus comes to each one of us and says, "Come with me, I want you to be my disciple." We have learned that we have the power to invite Christ into our lives, and at any moment, whatever, we can open our arms and our hearts and say, "Lord, come in. You are welcome here." Today we will look at what happens when God comes into your life. You can't just keep God for yourself. You must share your faith if you are a disciple. And in the sharing of faith, you find healing and wholeness and goodness for yourself, and you change the whole world around you. We'll come back to sharing your faith in a moment, but now I'm going to take this sermon to a very strange place. You might even wonder, where are you going today, Mark? And how are you ever going to get back to the sermon? We are going to the largest shopping mall in the world. Now, I know that some of you think that's going to be lots of fun. First of all, what is the largest mall in the world? Maybe the one that comes to mind is the West Edmonton Mall. Well, I have researched this quite thoroughly, and sadly, that's number 3. It only has 800 stores and 5.3 million square feet of space. The second largest is in China, the Xinhuan Mall. It has over 1,000 stores, and it has 7 million square feet of space for your retail enjoyment. But the largest of all is the South China Mall with over 1,500 stores, 9.6 million square feet of pure joy. But that's just the biggest mall in the world today. I'm going to tell you something shocking. The biggest mall that ever existed in the time of Jesus and his disciples. It was 20 kilometers long. Can you imagine the wonder and the bliss of that? And in that mall, you could get anything you wanted. It was 20 kilometers of paved Roman roadway running between the city of Miletus on the Mediterranean Sea and down to a little place called Didyma. And every day, thousands of people walked along that roadway, which was surrounded on either side by every kind of shop you can imagine. You could buy clothing and shoes and household goods. There were services like doctors, lawyers, chiropractors. There were entertainers. There were places of worship. There was food from every place in the world. 20 kilometers long, the biggest mall that ever existed. Now the question is this. If you have a mall that big, you know you've got to have people. So what did they have that drew all of those people and caused thousands to be walking back and forth that whole mall every day of the year? It must have been a great attraction. This is what it was. At the end of that 20-kilometer roadway on the seashore by the Mediterranean was the temple of Apollo. Apollo was the Greek god of light and love and music and joy. That's not why they went. They went because Apollo was also the oracle. Apollo was the living Word of God. Now you know the disciples are going to have a little problem with that. Apollo was the one who could predict the future and tell you what you should do in order to make your life a success. That's why the people were going by the thousands, not just from Miletus, They would come to that city from all over the world to make the trek down the 20-kilometer mall to the Temple of Apollo in order to hear the oracle. And this is how it worked. You would go to the temple, and first of all, you would have to spend a huge amount of money in the mall on the way. You then had to pay at the temple and take a sheep with you. The priest at the temple would cut the sheep open. And I know you don't like gory sermons. I forgot about that.